The president defiant following the White House's release of this 5-page memo detailing his July phone call with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky.
He appears to have admitted that, yes, indeed, he brought up Joe Biden in his conversations with the president of Ukraine. Here he is.
Democrats say the president's words amount to an impeachable offense.
Ready? You have the cameras rolling? I want nothing. That's what I want from Ukraine. That's what I said. This is the final word from the President of the United States. I want nothing.
We're a very young democracy. We're just 20-something years old. The United States is a very adult, established democracy. But this is the situation when adult behaves like a child and a child behaves like adult. Anti-Corruption Action Center, we name and shame people who steal the money from taxpayers. One of the biggest donors is the USAID, it's the aid agency of the United States government. United States was the core partner in driving for reforms in Ukraine, especially the anti-corruption reform. In 2014, Ukrainian people stood up, went to the streets, and clearly told to Ukrainian authorities, to Russia and to the West, we want to go to liberal democracy. It was the key to successful anti-corruption reform in Ukraine. The synergetic pressure from civil society on the ground in Ukraine and international institutions.
When Ukraine started this process of reforming itself in 2014, we had this feeling of international support. Now, in 2019, when we feel that there is a lessening international support, the question is whether this reform process will be sustainable.
Mr. President, welcome. We strongly support your democracy. We look forward to working with you to strengthen that democracy.
An additional $75 million in military assistance would be provided to the Ukrainian military by the United States. I think this is reflective of the partnership that exists between the United States and Ukraine.
Support from the United States was huge, and the leverage of the United States was huge, and we felt safe. But then all this scandal started.
President, on that point, did you discuss Joe Biden, his son, or his family with the leader of Ukraine?
It doesn't matter what I discussed, but I will say this. Somebody ought to look into Joe Biden's statement because it was disgraceful. Totally appropriate conversation. Couldn't have been better.
It's better to be on TV than by phone.
Yeah.
I think.
Impeachment, in fact, was put in the Constitution to protect against the president who would act as this one has.
What does that do to our anti-corruption efforts when the Ukrainians perceive that we're engaging in corruption ourselves?
I think that American audience doesn't get it that every day somebody is dying at war with Russia in Ukraine. And the amount of deaths depends directly to support from the United States.
So at this exact site, the Armed Forces of Ukraine are building a combat training center. The United States government has come forward and said we're going to provide you security force assistance to the government of Ukraine. It's very important to provide deterrence against anyone that wants to be aggressive against any of our European partners. The mission's been going since 2016. We have over 60 advisors here. All right, team, let's go. Who's going to go first this morning?
With the Ukrainians, had our first sync meeting, multinational. It was a good beginning of a problem solving.
At this point, we're transitioning to continuing Mount Urban Operations staff planning.
Adam. So we're developing plans to move that forward so we can help them refine their own processes.
All right, if there's nothing more, just go out and do great things. Thanks.
I'm actually organically part of the 32nd Military Police Company, so I actually volunteered for this mobilization. As soon as I heard about the mission, I thought it would be a great opportunity. I thoroughly enjoyed working with our allies and our partners over here, so I thought it'd be great to have another opportunity to do that. As an advisor here, what we do is we work with Ukrainian units, and we are assisting and mentoring them in their training. We will observe the training. The goal is to strengthen the Ukrainians so that their armed forces are to like a set standard. So this is one of the urban areas that were built specifically for training. Overall, the training is going outstandingly.
When we talk about this military aid from the United States, it's like 1.5 billion. It's not just about lethal weapons.
Putin is afraid of Ukraine being a successful democracy. If Ukraine succeeds, then this story can inspire many other nations and countries across the world. In Russian propaganda, already on air, that America doesn't support anymore Ukraine.
The consequence of this Trump approach of withdrawal military aid and pressuring Zelensky is very simple. If Russia understands that there is no one behind Ukraine, that there is a carte blanche for its military aggression or political aggression, it will go ahead. And if Ukraine falls again to the sphere of interest of Russia, Russia will not stop. If this support disappears, there is a growing feeling of insecurity, growing fear.
This is exactly the moment where Ukraine needs support from the role model democracy.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.